I get a brochure in the mail, just out of the blue. And the brochure said, we have these services. They hadn't even opened the doors yet. And I bust through the door. What is this place? How can you help my son? The biggest thing that I was fascinated with was the dental department.
I'll lay your chair back. Are you ready?
I went to get his mom so she could see how great he was doing. And when I opened the door, she was leaning against it and she almost fell through the door, and we started laughing together. And I said, "Mom, what are you doing? He's doing great." And so she came back and I let her see how well he was doing, and she started to cry because this was the first time that he was ever able to experience dental care in a positive light, and the first time he was ever able to be treated without being sedated.
It didn't really hit us until probably about 6 months into the operation of this, that what was really sort of magical about this place was that we were able to provide this interdisciplinary care where we have the dentist talking to the psychiatrist, talking to the primary care physician, talking to the therapist, talking to the dietitian. We didn't quite appreciate what that was going to do for the quality of care that we were able to offer.
He was very stiff for his first appointment. He loved his phone. He plays games on his phone to help him feel more secure and more relaxed. And I'll never forget when we laid his chair back and he had his phone straight out like this, and he just leaned all the way back and he held that phone straight up in the air and he kept playing games as we were working. And we just worked around him and allowed him to have that because it made him feel more comfortable.
So as I talked with his mother, I said, well, as we're looking at Terrance, he doesn't have the typical needs for PT, but let's take him down to the pool. Once we got in the pool, what started to come out in Terrance was this inner athlete, really, that was unable to, had not been expressed in his life. He engages in those activities. You can see it. Terrance doesn't tell you these things, but you see it when you get to know him, that it's benefiting him. The way in which he's relaxed, the energy is released. The better Terrance feels, the healthier he is physiologically, the better quality of life he's going to have.
We want Terrance to be independent. So we'd give him a toothbrush to use himself. We talk about when to brush, where to brush. That's something you don't even think about for the rest of the population, but for our population, you do have to think about that.
When we first came to this clinic, my son was not of this world. He would just kind of stare after they tapped in to what none of us could tap into. His whole demeanor's changed. We found out here that he was an athlete. And I think that once we tapped in this place here, once they tapped into that, this child's smile was like $1 million.
This was a group of people who, through no fault of their own, just found themselves in some circumstances that they really needed some help and some guidance. Discrimination, stigma, medical providers not being prepared to deliver care to them, dentists not being able to provide care to them, the entire system just not really being designed for our folks.
This clinic, as you've hopefully learned by now, is an incredible example of something that many folks strove for many years to create. It involved legislators, it involved commissioners, it involved citizens, families, it involved many people, and it's just so exciting to see it in its existence and in its reality.
feel like, though, if you really want to treat people, I think you should really take the time to learn about people. Prevention is not one size fits all. All of our patients are unique, and you have to think outside of the box.
He would come out every time, smile as big as this building. He's loved, he felt the compassion, he felt the caring, and I get chills. I get chills. And this is his home. This is his home. This is his family.
It's just a very different experience with him now versus him 4 years ago. He's just grown so much, and I think a lot of that has to do with the interdisciplinary care he's getting here. We're meeting so many of his needs. We're not just treating his teeth, we're treating Terrance holistically. And that holistic approach has really allowed him in every area to just blossom and become more of himself. I think it was always in there. We just had to unlock it for him.